Have you ever stood in front of the mirror, not just to check your reflection, but to really look at yourself, wondering if you could change something fundamental about who you are? Not your hair, not your smile, but something deeper, something at the core of your being. Maybe it's the way you react to the world, the way you process emotions, or the way you see yourself fitting or not fitting into the bigger picture. Maybe you find yourself wondering why you feel things so deeply, why a passing comment can echo in your mind for days, or why you replay conversations long after they're over, searching for hidden meanings or missed opportunities. You might ask yourself why you can't just let things go, or why your mind seems to wander down winding paths when others seem so sure and straightforward. We're often told, sometimes subtly, sometimes directly, to be louder, more decisive, less sensitive. The world seems to reward those who are bold, outspoken, and quick to act, as if there's only one right way to be. It can feel like there's a script everyone else is following, and you're the only one who missed the rehearsal. This pressure to conform, to fit into a mold that was never made for you, can make you feel like you're always falling short. You start to sand down your edges, hiding the parts of yourself that don't seem to fit, until you risk losing something precious, your authenticity, your spark, the very things that make you, you. But what if the things you see as flaws are actually your greatest strengths? Imagine your sensitivity as a superpower, allowing you to connect deeply with others and notice details that others miss. Picture your quietness as a wellspring of creativity, a space where ideas can grow and flourish. What if your unique way of seeing the world is exactly what the world needs? The journey to self-acceptance doesn't start with changing who you are, it starts with curiosity and compassion. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" try asking, "What is this part of me trying to tell me?" What wisdom lies beneath your sensitivity, your introspection, your quiet strength? When you listen, you might discover a whole new way of understanding yourself. Your unique traits aren't just acceptable, they're what make you truly irresistible. Embracing who you are with all your quirks and qualities is the first step toward living a life that feels genuine and fulfilling. The world needs your perspective, your voice, and your heart, just as they are. Let's talk about these flaws. We all have them. Those little quirks or traits that seem to set us apart, sometimes in ways that make us feel uncomfortable or even ashamed. Maybe it's the way you overthink every decision, or how your voice trembles when you speak in front of a crowd. These are the things we're told to hide, to fix, to smooth over so we can fit in better. Maybe you're called too sensitive, or you're the quiet one who prefers listening to speaking. Perhaps you notice details others miss, or you feel emotions more deeply than those around you. Sometimes you might wonder if you're just too much or not enough for the world. Perhaps you're impulsive, acting on a whim, or you struggle with anxiety, a constant hum of worry in the background. Maybe you find it hard to sit still, or your mind races with possibilities and what-ifs. These experiences can feel isolating, as if you're the only one wrestling with them. Society tells us to fix these traits, to become more assertive, less anxious, more outgoing. We're bombarded with advice on how to change ourselves. Books, podcasts, well-meaning friends and family all offering tips to help us improve. The message is clear. Who you are isn't quite right, but you can be better if you just try hard enough. We internalize the message that we must erase these parts of ourselves to be worthy. Over time, we start to believe that our value depends on how well we can hide our so-called flaws. We become experts at masking, at pretending, at shrinking ourselves to fit into boxes that were never meant for us. But what if we stopped fighting and saw these traits as features, not bugs? What if instead of trying to erase them, we learned to understand and appreciate them? Imagine the freedom of accepting yourself fully, quirks and all, and recognizing that these qualities are not mistakes, they're part of your unique design. Like the unique grain in wood, these qualities are woven into who you are. They add depth, character, and beauty to your story. Just as no two pieces of wood are exactly alike, no two people are either. Our so-called flaws are often the very things that make us interesting, resilient, and real. Recognizing this is the first step to reclaiming your power and rewriting your story. When you embrace your whole self, you open the door to genuine confidence and connection. Remember, the world doesn't need a perfect version of you. It needs the real you, flaws and all. These so-called flaws don't appear out of nowhere. They're often survival strategies. Sensitivity might be a radar you developed to navigate conflict as a child. Quietness could be a refuge you built in a chaotic world, a source of strength and creativity. Impulsivity may be your way of reclaiming agency after feeling controlled. Anxiety is your nervous system's attempt to keep you safe in an unpredictable world. Understanding where these traits come from isn't about blame, it's about compassion. They're not weaknesses, but evidence of your resilience. When you see them as adaptive responses, shame melts away. You begin to appreciate the person you became to survive. Indecisiveness is often seen as a flaw, but what if it's a sign of thoughtfulness? You weigh options, consider consequences, and care deeply about making the right choice. This isn't weakness, it's a sophisticated skill. Your careful deliberation prevents mistakes and leads to better outcomes. Others may rush, but your thoroughness brings wisdom and empathy. Next time you hesitate, remember, you're not being difficult, you're being conscientious. Your mind is exploring possibilities, striving for the best result. Indecisiveness is the hallmark of a truly thoughtful and considerate mind. People pleaser is often used as an insult, but it's rooted in empathy and a desire for harmony. You anticipate others' needs, value peace, and work hard to maintain connection. Your role as a peacemaker is a strength, not a weakness. You're the glue that holds relationships together, creating spaces where others feel safe and valued. The challenge is to extend that same care to yourself. Set boundaries that protect your well-being. It's not about caring less for others, but including yourself in the circle of care. Your desire for peace is powerful when balanced with self-respect. This transforms people-pleasing from exhaustion to genuine, healthy connection. Anxiety and sensitivity are often seen as villains, but what if they're your superpowers? Anxiety is foresight. It helps you spot risks, make backup plans, and protect those you love. Sensitivity is heightened perception. You experience the world deeply, notice subtle shifts, and form meaningful bonds. These traits are two sides of the same coin. You worry because you care. The key isn't to silence them, but to manage them, like adjusting the volume on a stereo. Your anxiety and sensitivity aren't enemies. They're tools for empathy, creativity, and connection. Learn to wield them, and they become your greatest assets. Don't numb your feelings, channel them. Your superpowers are waiting for you to embrace them. Many of us carry shame about the parts of ourselves that don't fit the ideal. We hide our sensitivity, apologize for indecision, and fight anxiety. The antidote isn't forced change, but gentle understanding, self-compassion. Look at your perceived flaws with curiosity, not criticism. Ask, what is this trait trying to protect or offer me? This shift from judgment to observation is transformative. It's not about letting flaws run your life, but building a new relationship with them. Understanding gives you the power to choose your response, not be driven by old patterns. Self-acceptance is the foundation for real growth. When you change your perspective on weaknesses, you uncover hidden strengths. Your struggles have built resilience, courage, and empathy. If you struggle with people-pleasing, it's because you value connection. If you struggle with anxiety, it's because you care about safety. Your flaws are signposts to your deepest values. The most compelling stories are about characters with quirks and vulnerabilities. Your flaws add depth and humanity to your story. Embracing them turns your life into a journey of growth, not a list of problems to fix. Your challenges have propelled you forward, making you more creative, compassionate, and resilient. Look in the mirror again. It's time to see yourself with new eyes. Not just the surface, but the story behind every line, every freckle, every so-called imperfection. Each mark, each quirk, is a chapter in the book of you, a book that's still being written, full of courage, growth, and hope. The traits you've been taught to dislike are the source of your unique charm. Sensitivity is empathy. Quietness is wisdom. Anxiety is caring. What you see as awkwardness is actually authenticity, and your hesitations are signs of a thoughtful mind. The world has tried to convince you that you must fit a certain mold, but the truth is, your differences are your superpowers. They are the colors that make your story vibrant and unforgettable. These aren't flaws to hide, but qualities to honor. When you walk into a room, your presence is shaped by every experience you've had, every challenge, every triumph, every moment of doubt. That quiet strength, that gentle smile, that spark of curiosity, These are the things that draw people to you, even if you don't always see it. Your so-called flaws are evidence of a life lived with heart and resilience. Scars, stretch marks, wrinkles. These are not things to be ashamed of, but badges of honor. They show that you have survived, that you have loved, that you have dared to be vulnerable. Every sign of age, every mark, is proof that you have lived fully and bravely. True confidence is embracing your whole self, shadows and all. It's not about pretending to be perfect, but about standing tall in your truth. When you accept your flaws, you radiate a quiet power that inspires others. You become a beacon for those still learning to love themselves. When you accept your humanity, you give others permission to do the same. Your openness creates a safe space for real connection. In your willingness to be seen as you are, you invite others to drop their masks and share their true selves. This is how communities are built and how friendships deepen. Your vulnerability becomes a source of connection and authenticity. Celebrate your anxious heart, thoughtful indecision, and deep sensitivity. These are not weaknesses, but the very things that make you relatable and real. When you share your struggles, you remind others that they are not alone, and that it's okay to be imperfect. The world doesn't need perfection. It needs you, with all your beautiful, messy, magnificent flaws. It needs your laughter, your tears, your creativity, and your courage. It needs your story, told honestly and without shame. When you show up as your whole self, you inspire others to do the same. And together, you create a world where everyone belongs. Embrace them. They are your greatest gift. Your flaws are not just part of your story. They are the very reason your story matters. Let them shine, and watch as your irresistible power lights up the world.